I'm so excited. I think I got you. Adding Dr. Ken Berry. Hi.
We did it. We did it.
We did it. I am so sorry. Dr. Ken Berry. Everybody, I am so stoked to be talking to you. So, Dr. Berry, do I call you Dr. Ken Berry? Dr. Berry? Do I call you DKB? What do I call you?
Call me Ken.
Call you Ken. I don't need to
Sure.
use the doctor part?
No. If you don't know who the doctor is, then I'm doing something wrong.
Well, can you call me Countess? No, I'm just
teasing.
just teasing. Well, I am so excited. I'm going to be editing this and putting this on YouTube. You can put it on YouTube. We're going to be putting it on Mom's Keto Kitchen community. We're going to be showing this because I have had, I'm not joking, hundreds, plural, of questions coming in for me talking with you because
Excellent.
You've blown up on YouTube. You are now a YouTube social media influencer.
I guess. I don't know what's up with that. That's weird, right?
Well, again, I want to give a proper introduction to Ken. If that feels weird, I want to call you that feels weird. Okay, Ken. So Ken is an amazing doctor. He has a #1 best-selling book on Amazon. I'm going to put it in the description link below and also in the comments. Go get it. I'm going to go get it. I'm really excited this weekend I'm on a business trip to go check this out. Lies My Doctor Told Me, Medical Myths That Are Harming Your Health. What a great title. That hooks you right in. Everybody needs to go get that book.
I hope so.
Everyone needs to go get that book. And he also is, of course, on YouTube. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel. A lot of my subscribers tell me how wonderful you are, and I'm like, duh, go check it out. So go check him out and go check out his Facebook page. I'll put that in the description links and comments, and his Instagram page too. So we have a million questions. Can I start? How much time do we have together, Ken?
I'm done for the day. So my daughter has a basketball game at 6 p.m., so we've got 5 hours. No, I'm kidding.
Awesome. Awesome. How about like 20, 30 minutes somewhere in there?
Yeah,
I got about a million questions.
Yeah,
okay.
let's
and if we go short or long or whatever, and I know people are going to be adding questions. So my first thing is everyone go get the book, go check out the Amazon book. But my first question to you is talking about myths, because I get this a lot on YouTube. And so I'm in Washington, D.C. I can see that the nation's capital is right over there. The sun is setting here. So I'm just going to move as the sun goes in my eyes. I'm going to move my chair across this hotel room. My question to you is myths. What is the biggest myth about the keto diet? What is the biggest myth that people think? I have my myths. One of the ones that I usually get is clogging your arteries and heart attacks. But what is the biggest myth?
The biggest myth of all is that you shouldn't eat it. That's the biggest myth of all, because the standard American diet that we all are told that we're supposed to eat, the American Diabetic Association diet, the American Heart Association diet, are backed by no meaningful research whatsoever. Okay? So when you say it like that, you're like, oh, well, now why should I eat this keto diet? Your immediate question should be, dude, why are you eating the diet you're eating now? It's not based in any research whatsoever. The American Heart Association, if you press a representative, they'll be like, well, I mean, no, it just makes sense that you should eat lots of whole grains, right? No. So basically, if you're going to flip a coin, why not eat ketogenic, right? Why not? Why not eat the diet that seems to be the most true to our ancestry and to our DNA? Too late now. We can't do it now. We had to start.
You can't do it now?
No, too late. But that's okay. Next time we'll go the right way next time. But that's the biggest myth of all. And there are a ton of smaller associated myths. And so like, oh, you shouldn't eat all that fat, it'll clog your arteries. Wait, I thought it was the phytates and the gluten that was doing that, and the inflammation that comes from the standard inflammatory diet we're all eating. I thought that's what clogged our arteries, because I don't think there's any meaningful research that shows that fat or cholesterol clogs your arteries at all. I think that's all based on, there's actually a chapter in the book about Ansel Keys and his research that he made up. All of the cholesterol theory of heart disease and the saturated fat is bad for you theory, all of that was based on the research of a doctor back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, and he made the crap up. It's not, you can go back now, and I mean, if you just Google Ansel Keys cholesterol theory of heart disease, you can read for hours about how this guy just made it up. He was a vegetarian, so he believed in that, right? He believed in the vegetarian diet, and so he actually collected research from 22 countries. But when he published it, the title of his paper was The 7-Country Study. What happened to the other countries?
Yeah.
They either proved him wrong, or they were just background noise and showed that fat in the diet didn't do anything. And so when you go back and actually crunch his data meaningfully, what you find is that sugar and simple starches are associated with heart disease, not fat. So does that make sense? I mean, basically
Boom.
everything that we've
Yes.
based the American diet on for the last 60 years is a myth. It's a lie. And one of the publisher I thought about going with for the book wanted me to change it to medical myths. And I was like, I thought about it, but I was like, no, because, you know, if your hairdresser tells you, oh, you should eat more whole grain, if you listen to her and take her advice, that's your fault. She doesn't know, right? She knows how to color your tips, but she don't know what you should eat. That's not her job, right? But if you go to a nutrition or a dietitian or a doctor I'm supposed to be an expert in the care and management of the human organism. That's what I do. That's what I'm supposed to be an expert on. But I tell you to eat more whole grains, I'm held to a higher standard. I'm supposed to know. It's my job to actually actively know, not to just say, oh, well, I read this and so I guess that's fine. That ain't my job. And so if I do that, that's more than just a myth. That's more than just me. Well, I didn't know any better. That's a big fat lie, because that's my job to know.
Boom, mic drop, boom. And that's why everyone needs to check out, why everyone needs to check out your YouTube channel, because I love the way that you break things down in a simple fashion of things that are gobbledygook, but you make it very simple for people to understand. So, I mean, right there. So we talked a little bit about heart attacks, clogging arteries. Talk to me a little bit about thyroid. I know lots of my ladies, lots of my other countesses have thyroid issues, including myself. I subscribe to that box.
It's a huge issue, and it's another place where doctors routinely drop the ball, and it's embarrassing at how bad some doctors are. It's really embarrassing at how bad some endocrinologists are. Then they're supposed to be thyroid specialists. And so if you go to your doctor and you have symptoms like fatigue, weight gain, can't lose weight, my skin's very dry, I'm always constipated. If I'm in a room with 10 people, I'm the one freezing to death and everyone else is not cold. If you're the person who always has cold hands and feet, your doctor needs to check your thyroid. And the way he does that is he might palpate it. Yeah, okay, fine, whatever. But 99.99% of the time, you can have low thyroidism and your thyroid feels perfectly normal. That's in no way any kind of test that's ever going to tell a doctor if you have low thyroid or not. So he's going to draw some blood, and 90% of the time he's going to check a lab test called a TSH, and that's it. Now, first of all, the TSH is thyroid stimulating hormone. It actually is secreted by the anterior pituitary gland from your brain. It's not even a thyroid hormone at all. So it tells you maybe how your pituitary gland's functioning, but it doesn't tell you crap about how your thyroid's functioning. In order to know that, you have to actually check some thyroid labs. Now, some doctors and some endocrinologists will check a TSH and a T4 or a free T4. Now, that's a little better, but not much better. So basically, if you check just those two tests and they're both normal, and I say, oh, well, it's not your thyroid, it's just, I guess it's all in your head. I don't know, here's some Prozac. That's terrible. That's awful. That's the worst malpractice in the world, because you've got a lady here, and it's usually women, not always, but you've got a patient here who's sick, who feels like crap, who literally is eating right and cannot lose weight, who's not sleeping well, their energy level. And women, I had a woman put it perfectly. She said, I want to, but I just don't want to. That's such a good way to put it, because you want to intellectually. You're like, I want to do these things, and I want to do these things, but I just don't want to. I just want to go lay down. I just want to go get on the couch and lay still, because that's all I have the energy to do. And so if you flip that on a woman and you say, oh yeah, it's all in your head, here's some Prozac, that's dastardly. That I can't even think of a word without it being a dirty word. That's awful. What are you doing? And so let's check a full panel of thyroid labs. Let's check a free T4. Let's check a free T3. Let's check and see if she has an autoimmune condition where her body's attacking her thyroid. That could be, right? But if you just check a TSH and a free T4, you have no idea if she has an autoimmune thyroiditis or not. You have no idea. You're like you're the hairdresser saying, no, that's not your thyroid. No, that's terrible. So let's check a TPO antibody, and let's check a TG antibody, and then let's check a reverse T3, because there's something called reverse T3 that can cause terrible problems for a woman with low thyroid. And if you don't check the full panel, you have no idea. So I'm kind of yelling at the doctors out there saying, hey,
Yes.
dude and dudettes, you need to step it up. Okay, because
Yell at them.
if you've got a patient and you're not checking a full thyroid panel, you're no better than the hairdresser. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Good point. That's a really good point. What do you think for the keto, kind of switching gears over here.
Sure.
What do you think for the keto diet? Is there anyone medically who should not do the keto diet?
There is a very short list, and I'm trying to invite some people while I talk. So just ignore my motion and listen to my words.
I'm gonna continue to close my blinds here in my hotel room.
Yeah, do that. So yeah, there is a very short list of people with very, very rare inborn errors of metabolism and fat absorption who should not eat the ketogenic diet. And I'm actually working on a YouTube video about that right now.
Ooh.
In the entire United States, there's probably 10,000 people in the entire country who should not eat a ketogenic diet. But now myths that I've heard are, if you have a fatty liver, you shouldn't eat the ketogenic diet. That's exactly backwards. If you have a fatty liver, you damn sure better be eating a ketogenic diet, because that's what's going to get the fat out of your liver. Okay. I've heard people say, I've got high cholesterol, so I shouldn't eat a fatty liver. My doctor told me that. That's ridiculous. Eat the ketogenic diet. That's what's going to get your triglycerides down. Okay. Now, it looks like we've got a few people watching this. Everybody give this a thumbs up or a heart, and that's going to bump the the Facebook algorithm, so more people will get an invitation to join, because I want to help as many people today as we can. I want to answer as many questions. So share this. There's a little share button that you can share it with your friends, and also a notification button so that every time the Countess goes live, you'll get a notification. Right.
And one of the things I love about, I have to say, Dr. Barry, it's a southern part of me that needs to have a title in front of it. Dr. Ken, the one thing I love about Dr. Ken is when we were emailing to set this and corresponding to set this up, he continuously kept saying, I want to help as many people as possible. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, being a businesswoman, that's usually not what people say when they want to do stuff. That it's usually not first and foremost. And so Doc Ken is the real deal. Y'all need to check him out on YouTube. You need to check out his Facebook and click like on it, and also go get his book on Amazon. I'll tell you what, that's got his medical, the way he breaks down medical terminology and the medical part of a ketogenics diet is really, really, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I binged watched the other weekend a ton of your YouTube episodes, and I encourage my subscribers at the Countess of Low Carb to go binge watch his.
I watched all your YouTube stuff, but there's just not enough on there. So you need to get busy with your YouTube.
It's only been 4 months. It's only been 4 amazing months. 50 pounds later, man. It's been quite a ride. Awesome? It's been quite a ride. So I have more medical. Can I dive into more medical questions?
Let's go. Let's do it.
Supplements.
Yeah.
What do people need to take for supplements on the ketogenics diet?
So if you're eating a good, true ketogenic diet, you don't really need many supplements at all. Now, some people, the first week or two or three, they can have what's known as the keto flu or the Atkins flu, and that just comes from not eating enough salt. Here's what happens. Let's talk about it. So when you're eating the standard American diet, your gut is inflamed, right? Your joints are inflamed, your tissues are inflamed, and there's more and more evidence that probably even your brain is inflamed, okay? And maybe we can talk about anxiety and depression a little later on. So make a mental note of that. And so if anybody's taking a medication for anxiety or depression, I want you to type in the name of the medicine in the comments, and we're going to talk about anxiety and depression and how you might not need that medicine anymore later on. But what happens when you start eating a ketogenic diet, it is the most anti-inflammatory diet that I've ever seen. And I've been practicing for 13, 14 years, and I've never seen a diet that makes people decrease their inflammatory status more. I've never seen anything like it. And so you probably noticed in the mirror that your face just did this. That was inflammation. Your gut did the same thing. Your joints did the same thing. Your brain, everything did that. And what causes swelling and inflammation is that your body opens up the gates and water gets in the cell. And so when you start to become less inflamed, your body's like, we don't need all this swelling. So you start to do this, and then you pee out all that water. But that takes salt with it. And so when you're eating an ancestral or a paleo or a ketogenic diet, especially ketogenic, you actually get to eat as much salt as you want. Dr. Dean Nicotoli, I don't know, Dr. D, he's got a great book called The Salt Fix. Highly recommend that book. If you're worried about salt, if you've got high blood pressure and your doctor said, you need to cut your salt intake, that's crap. That's not true. Okay. Get The Salt Fix and read that book, and you'll understand what I'm talking about when it comes to inflammation and salt. Salt is not bad for you, and that's another myth that I deal with in the book, and Dr. D's entire book was about that myth. But when you start to eat a real diet, you eat more salt. You need more salt. Salt is vital, okay? There's a reason that we have taste buds that want salt. That's not
pink Himalayan salt or salt.
Yes. And so if you're going to eat salt, and used to there was no such thing as processed salt, because I base everything I'm talking about on us 30,000 years ago. Let's go back in time, right? Was there Morton's processed salt? No. There was real salt or nothing. That was it, right? And so we're talking about a real unprocessed sea salt that has not just sodium and chloride. It also has magnesium and manganese and cobalt and molybdenum and all these other micro minerals that you don't need much of, but you do need. But you need to eat sea salt on everything. Salt everything. Salt is good for you, okay? When you have cattle, a lot of people don't realize this if you didn't grow up on a farm, you buy big blocks of salt to set out, and the cows will track that salt block down and lick it like no tomorrow. And it's not because they're hedonistic. It's not because they just are dumb and don't know any better. It's because salt is a requirement for mammals to thrive and flourish. Now, farmers never put a sugar lick out there. You don't ever put a big block of sugar for the cows to lick, because that doesn't help anything. But if you want healthy cows, they have to have salt. Humans are the same way. We have to have salt. And actually, all the research that Dr. D goes into his book, The Salt Fix, shows that the more salt you eat on average, the longer you live. What? Right, exactly.
Wow.
Stop being afraid of salt. And so that first week or two, when you're feeling kind of yucky and maybe having muscle cramps, maybe feeling kind of flu-like, that's because you've peed out all the inflammatory water, and it took a lot of salt with it. So you've got to increase your salt intake. And that 9 times out of 10, I tell people the 2 answers for the ketogenic diet for success is eat more fat and eat more salt. No matter what your question is, that's probably the answer to whatever your question's about to be, is eat more fat and eat more salt.
Don't you love how simple this diet is?
Yeah,
I mean, really,
it
really, I saw in one of your videos that you're not a big meal prepper, or that's not really actively part of your, like, what am I going to eat? I'm just going to open the refrigerator. And that's one of the beautiful benefits of this diet is you don't have to meal prep at all. You really,
absolutely
really
not. Absolutely not. And so, yeah, Nisha and I don't meal prep at all. I think I said on one Go Live, like literally my meal prep is I go to the cabinet and get a skillet, and then I go open the fridge and go, what are we going to cook? That's meal prep at my house. And that's at 7 o'clock at night, when we finally got home.
I love it.
So, yeah, there's no such thing as meal prep. You don't need to do that.
So kicking over to children, because I get asked this a lot. I'm a mom to a 2-year-old, and that's my most important accolade. I mean, forget the business stuff. Being a mom and being a great wife are my most important accolades. And I get asked this a lot because I'm a mom. What about our children? What should our children do?
Oh, yeah, great question. And I'm going to go live with another lady in another group later about that. So let's go back in time 30,000 years. Okay, we're back with our ancestors, with the tribe, right? Did they eat sugar on a daily basis? No. They maybe ate sugar once a year when the fruit was ripe, or once a year when they found a honey tree. So to act like that children have any need for sugar at all is ludicrous. For if any dietitian or anybody's like, oh, they have to have a certain, no, they don't. You and I sitting here are the end result of thousands of successful reproductions over the last million years, right? If one of our great-great-grandparent couples, if they didn't reproduce, you wouldn't be sitting there right now, right? You are, and so first of all, if you've got a negative self-esteem, you need to stop it, because you're like the ultimate product of so many successful, you are the definition of success, first of all. Secondly, they never ate sugar. They never ate starches. They never ate grains, ever. Yet somehow we're sitting here. Somehow they didn't die of a wheat deficiency. Somehow, right? Because we've only been eating wheat in any quantity or grains of any kind for the last 5, 6, 7,000 years. We've been cultivating grain for maybe 10, 11,000 years. But even after we started cultivating it, it was still a minor portion of our diet. Only in the last 100 or 200 years, when corporations have been in charge of our food, has grain suddenly become a necessity.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. Even 9,000 years ago, 8,000 years ago, we raised grain,
Mm-hmm.
but that was still a very small part of our diet. And so to pretend like children need grains and they need sugars and they need fruits, it's just dumb, because you're not thinking about where we came from, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll
Mm-hmm.
learn very quickly. I shoot pretty straight, and so if I offend anybody,
Love it.
I'm sorry a little bit, but not a lot of it. But think about it. For millions of years, you ate fruit every day or once a year,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what did all those little children eat? What did they eat? They ate keto/paleo. 9 days out of 10, it was keto, because that's all you could find. And then one day out of 10, maybe it was a little bit paleo, because you got lucky and found some rotten fruit from months ago when you ate that. But on a daily basis, our ancestors ate a ketogenic diet. Sorry. Yeah.
Not sorry.
But think about it. So then that makes all the questions that are about to come. Well, yeah, but shouldn't kids have? No, don't even ask the question. Think about our history. Think about our genetics. Think about our ancestry.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they should have.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason we're sitting here today, is because they were so successful on a ketogenic diet.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of people today talk about paleo, and what they mean by paleo is a very fruit heavy, berry heavy, even dairy heavy. And okay, it's not terrible. It's way better than the standard American diet, but it's still not what we ate for all those hundreds of thousands of years to get here to where we are today.
Amen. That is so true. So true. So along those lines, but switching gears, is workouts. A lot of people ask me questions about workouts. What do you suggest from like a medical science standpoint to have after working out?
So to eat after working out. So after we went on a hunt 30,000 years ago, and 2 of us died trying to drop that mastodon, and we dragged the thing back home, what did we eat? We ate the mastodon. They didn't carb load before they went. They didn't have sugar gel to eat while they were trying to kill the mastodon. And then when they got done killing the mastodon, they ate the mastodon. Right? So, and like, listen, I used to work out back in the day. I don't anymore. I don't have time. But yeah, I would carb load, and I would eat before a game, I would eat a huge plate of spaghetti, because that was all stupid. I just didn't know any better. Yeah. I just didn't know any better. And so you're probably reading more and more about elite level athletes who are doing their heaviest workout while they're fasting, and who are eating a ketogenic diet and actually running ultra marathons and stuff with no carbs. And they're just burning their fat, because when you kick over and start burning your fat, you've only got about 2,000-3,000 calories of glycogen stored in your liver and your muscles, and then you're done. And that's why you see people on mile 18 of a marathon just literally drop like a puppet that somebody dropped the strings. They ran out of glycogen. That's it. They're done. And you can't put it back in fast enough to get back up and finish the race. You're just done. They just drag you off and take you to the hospital and give you some sugar water, and then you're fine later. But when you kick over and you're ketogenic, you don't ever have to stop. You can run and run and run forever, because you're burning the fat that's on your booty and on your belly. You just don't run out of that, because at any given time, even the slenderest of person has 10, 20,000 calories of fat stored on different parts of their body. So yeah, carbs and workouts, myth, needs to stop.
Well, I'm seeing that some people just joined us. If you joined us, I'm here with Dr. Ken D. Berry, MD. If you check him out on YouTube, I'm going to put in the description links, his YouTube, his Facebook over, and like him on Facebook, and go check out his book that's on Amazon, a #1 Amazon bestseller, or I'll put the link also below. I'm going to load this up on YouTube as well for our YouTube subscribers, so you can also check this out and see this on replay, because I know there's so much information that we're covering that I'm going to go back and watch it like 10 times, because you're saying a lot of good stuff that is really, really educational, that I think people are going to be eating up. Excuse the pun.
Hey, Chester. Hey, Erica. How you doing? Go ahead.
Hey, Brandy. Hey, sister. Please do. Please do. So I had somebody ask me about the Oh, no, wait. Well, let's go switch. I don't want to answer that one. Let's talk about going back to the brain, because I'm obsessed with the brain. My husband and I do tons of research on brain studies and things like that. Let's talk about the brain with the ketogenic diet.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about a myth, first of all, and then we'll talk about the ketogenic diet and brain pathology. So everybody knows that the SSRIs like Prozac, Zoloft, Paxil, you have a serotonin deficiency, and so you take those and they stop the reuptake, and then that increases the serotonin in your synapse, in the synapses of your brain, and that's how they work, right? No, that's crap. None of that's true. No one has ever shown in a single medical study ever. Am I being blunt enough? Nobody knows that. That is a theory. That's the serotonin theory. But that has never, ever been proven in any kind of meaningful medical research. It just sounds so good, like, oh, I've got a chemical imbalance. No, you would actually, there's no way to even check that. You would have to literally take cerebrospinal fluid samples from the brain continuously all day long and say, look, there, the serotonin's low. Look, there's the norepinephrine. Nobody's ever done that. You can't do that to a living human. This is all theory. It's based on nothing but a lot of advertisement on TV. That's what it's based on. Okay? So first of all, if you're taking any of the SSRIs, I'm not saying quit taking them right now because that can give you some kooky symptoms. But you need to go talk to your doctor and say, hey, what's the research? Can you print me out a copy of the study that shows that this actually increases the serotonin in my brain? Because I'd love to read that and watch him go, because that's what he'll do, because there is no such study. Okay? So now, if you're taking something for depression or anxiety like that, that's going to be my next book. So you can tell I'm a little passionate about this, is I'm going to be talking about the answer for depression and anxiety, and it ain't a pill. Okay? 90% of it is a diet. Some of it's exercise. Some of it's maybe a few supplements, maybe a few herbs or essential oils. But 80-90% of it, from my research so far, is what you eating. What you eating, because that's what matters. Okay? So I hinted earlier that the reason that we have all this disease is because of inflammation. And the inflammation is caused 90% by our diet, maybe 10% by our environment, what we're wearing, what we're sitting in, what we're breathing. All that probably matters a little bit, but what mainly matters is what you eat. And that's because your surface area outside your body, right? It's what it is. You know what it is. You know about how big that is. The surface area inside your body, your intestines, is bigger than a tennis court. When you unfold all the little villi and microvilli, that's how big the surface on the inside of your body is. And we're actually a tube. It's kind of gross to think about, but that's really what we are, right? And so, so the inside surface area is hundreds of times bigger than the outside surface area. So to pretend like, oh, it's the sun or it's my clothes or it's the chair I'm sitting on, maybe a little bit, but let's not play games. Let's talk about what's the 90%, because that's where the cure's at. It's your food, dummy. It's what you're putting in your mouth. And so when you start, I've had, maybe almost 100 patients now stop their SSRI, stop their Paxil, their Prozac, their Zoloft. They don't need it anymore, because once they get on a ketogenic diet, they calm down the inflammation in their entire body. Their energy level goes up. Their mood gets better. It happens every time. It either gets a little bit better or a lot of bit better. That's a new word I made up, a lot of bit, by the way. If you want to use that for
I'm taking it. I'm taking it.
Yeah. Either a little bit or a lot of bit. I think my daughter actually came up with it, but I loved it so much. It's like, that needs to be a word.
She's smart.
Yeah, that needs to be a word. But these people don't need these antidepressants anymore because they fix their mood by fixing their diet. Isn't that sexy? Wow. Isn't that sexy?
Oh yeah. I'm part of that club. Anxious to the bone. I mean, so anxious, and it's significantly decreased, significantly.
Yeah, exactly. And again, we go back in time 30,000 years. You couldn't exist if you were like this all the time. You would die. Yeah. You couldn't get out and hunt. You couldn't think, and you couldn't strategize. Or if you were so depressed that you were just laying in the cave all day, you would die, because the tribe wouldn't help you. They'd be like, I don't know, let him die. we can't be carrying him, right? So that is not the natural state of humanity. But now these days we have epidemics of depression and anxiety.
Hmm.
Why? Wonder
I was
where that's
just
coming
talking
from.
about that earlier today.
Yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
epidemic. It
Yeah.
really is.
Wendy's got
Anxiety is
a,
the new depression.
absolutely. Wendy's got a great group. She said, I fixed my bipolar by changing to keto. It's 6 months totally gone. And I've heard that hundreds of times in this clinic downstairs. And I
Yeah.
see it on the internet all the time. I used to take Zoloft. I used to take Xanax. I
Yes.
don't need that anymore. That's so
Hmm.
wonderful. That makes me happier than just about anything in the world.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible because it is an epidemic. So many hundreds of thousands or millions of people out there that are suffering with this. It's horrible to be
Yeah.
in that anxious state or depressive. It's horrible. So this is the solution. I love it. So I'm going to start wrapping us up a little bit because I know you're a busy dude. I got to go down to my business meeting, but two things. You, with your next book coming out, I need to give you my publicist's number. You need to talk to her.
Oh, okay.
You need
Okay.
to, if you need to talk to with my, she'll be very thankful for me. She's awesome. She's Britney Spears' former publicist,
Oh,
but
nice. Send it to me.
before she went cuckoo.
I would be
But I
happy to
love
be in
Britney
the
Spears.
next Britney. That'd be fine with me. I'll take that.
So I have just some personal questions that I wanted to ask. What is
Sure.
your favorite keto food? What is your favorite keto meal or
Mm,
keto food?
probably butter. Like I eat and drink butter all the time. It's a Kerrygold. You probably heard of it. It's
Yeah.
grass
Oh,
fed, so it has a much
yep.
higher omega-3 level. But just
Hmm.
regular butter. And I tell people all the time, if you can't do better, just do the best you can do. And so if all
Hmm.
you can
Yep.
avoid or afford is Save a Lot,
Hmm.
generic, cheap as dirt butter, that's way better than
Hmm.
margarine, my
Yeah.
friend. Okay, that's way better than canola oil. Eat
Hmm.
butter. But if you can get the good stuff, that's one of the few things you need to splurge on is get a good grass-fed butter. But I put that in and on just about everything. I was this morning when I was seeing patients, I was drinking my bulletproof coffee, and I put a little coffee and a lot of butter. And I just love it. I've had a few people say, "Oh, well, you're not gonna." No, it's fine. Trust me. I mean, and so if your doctor it won't put their swimming suit on and say, look, this is me without my clothes on, then you need to go, well, wait a minute, how come you look like you look? I don't want to look like that, right? So yeah, butter's probably my favorite, and then bacon's a close second.
Love it. Love
Yeah.
it. Love it. So what do you put in your cast iron skillet then to season it if you don't use canola oil?
Oh man, let me tell you, if anybody's listening right now, if you have canola in your kitchen, you
Hmm.
get up right now and you go to the
Hmm.
kitchen and you throw that crap away. That will
Yeah.
hurt you. That is not good for you. If you have margarine, throw it away right now. And I have a lot of poor patients, and so I don't tell people to throw away a lot
Hmm.
of stuff, but that's
Yeah.
two things. If you have those, go get them
Hmm.
and throw them away right now. I'm
Hmm.
going to wait a second while you do it. So we use to cook with the oils. We use
Hmm.
bacon grease, right? We
Hmm.
have just like grandmother had that thing on the stove. I got one of those, and when it's full, I feel rich inside. I feel wealthy because I've got bacon grease, right?
Yes.
We also
Yes. Yes.
use
Yes.
we also use butter. We also use avocado oil, and we use
Okay.
olive oil if we're cooking at low
Hmm.
heat. But those are the things. That's our go-to. That's what we cook with
Do
all the
you
time.
refrigerate your bacon grease or do you just leave your bacon grease out?
My bacon grease has been sitting on the stove for 3 years and has yet to go bad. Yeah, I never
Okay.
refrigerate it, ever, ever, ever. Because that's
Okay.
just an extra step. Remember that prepping thing I
Right.
told you about? If I had to go get it out, I'd be like, oh, it's hard and everything, man. Yeah, no, it sits right
That's
there
funny.
on the stove.
So, I don't know if you know my history, but I am from Washington, D.C. So it's like Green Acres because I moved out to rural Virginia. Literally, my backyard is cows. It is a
Yes,
green. I'm Zsa Zsa Gabor out in
yes.
the, but I want to do a garden. I'm very, very excited, and I've never done anything like this before. People who know me, I don't like dirt on my fingernails, but I'm going to do it. So I'm really excited to have a garden. What should I grow in my garden? Because I heard on one of your videos you have a garden.
Yeah, I do. And let me tell you, buy the book, the all new Square Foot Gardening. It's by Mel Bartholomew. Best book I ever bought about gardening.
Okay.
And you don't want to do the big rows and have the tractor and the tiller and the
Yeah. Yeah.
hoe. I had to
No.
do that growing up. That ain't nothing but work. Okay. That ain't nothing but work. You don't want to do that. But when you do the square foot garden, it can be as big or as small as you want it to be, and you can actually take care of it. And it's easy. And then it becomes
Nice.
fun to actually
Yeah.
grow things from the earth. So I would start out growing easy stuff that you're not going to kill. And those are the herbs. You can almost can't kill cilantro or dill or basil. They're so easy to grow, and I grow so much of that stuff every year. I grow tomatoes. Some people can't eat the nightshades, so that's fine. You can give them to your neighbors; they'll love you all the more, right? I grow kale. I grow Swiss chard. I grow collards. Oh man, Love collards. They're so good. But I grow all the greens, and I can grow cauliflower and broccoli, but I've got peacocks, and my peacocks will literally clean that garden out if I don't stand guard constantly. They are like velociraptors with feathers.
What other animals do you have?
Oh, we have peacocks, dogs, cats. We have a couple of teacup pigs that now weigh about 180 pounds. Okay. And then we have some goats. We have 3 goats, 2 nannies, and both of those are knocked up. So we're going to have some baby goats here before long.
Do you know I do goat yoga? I am obsessed with goat yoga. Obsessed.
Goat yoga.
Yes. And
I
I
like
run puppy yoga. We've raised.
I've never tried goat yoga though.
Goat yoga is fun. We do puppy yoga. My other business is I own one of the top 1% dog walking companies in the nation, and we do puppy yoga. So and goat yoga. So
I bet they love that.
They really, it's so much fun. It really is so much fun. So everybody go check out Dr. Kendi Berry on MD on YouTube, on Facebook. I'm going to put the links below. Check out his book on Amazon. It is a #1 Amazon bestseller, which is not an easy task to do. Lies My Doctor Told Me, medical myths that my handwriting's bad. Medical myths. I'm going to put the link below that harm your health. Medical links that harm your health. I love watching his YouTube channel. Please check it out. And Doc Ken, can we do this again? I really very much. I have still more questions for you.
Yeah, let's do this again, and we can do it on YouTube or we can do it on Facebook. You can maybe tell I love doing this and talking about this stuff. It's kind of my passion. And anybody, if you have a question, leave it in the comments below. The Countess and I will try to answer every one of your questions if we can, because we're doing this to help people.
Yes, agreed. 100% agreed. Well, thank you so much. Tell your daughter good luck at her basketball game.
Will do.
Make the 3 throw.
See you next time.
And I'm wishing you a powerful day. Bye.
Yes, thank you.